Hello and welcome to Good Clean Gaming. I'm your host, Shilindo, and today we're playing some Galactic Civilizations 3, and we are playing the release candidate version. You'll notice the beta thing at the string at the top we used to see at our previous playthroughs is gone. We're playing a release candidate version, which means there's still going to be bugs and still going to be features released, but the game is getting its polished now, and it's getting really close to being released. It's very close now, 0.95. I'm very excited. It's looking really good. I was a little nervous when they were in the previous version, like Beta 4 and Beta 5. I was like, I hope they get it together, but it feels like they're getting it all the way here. I'm so excited. So we're going to do a little tutorial here, and I'm going to show you guys how to play, how to, maximize your game, how to do everything that you want to do. And it's going to be more on an advanced level, so if you haven't played the tutorial, probably a good idea to play the tutorial in the game. But this will show you some of the more advanced concepts that allow you to, really specialize and dominate the game, things like that. So we're going to click New Game here. First thing I'm going to show off is custom races. So I am going to show you guys, I created a custom race, and if you are interested in like min-maxing and really, squeezing as much production as you can out of the game, this is a great thing to do. So I created this race that, you can look at the leader and the overview and all that, but really it comes down to these traits that really is the power behind the race. We have, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be specializing our planets. And when you specialize, let me explain that when you specialize your planets, you're going to have like 500 or 600% increase over your raw resources. Or, for instance, production 600% times, plus 600% times 6 production, for instance. This only gives, if you put plus 2 points in productive, it only gives plus 25%. If you do minus 25, you only get minus 25. So if you take like a raw resource rate of like 6 or 7 and you multiply that by 25%, it's not going to be very big. You multiply it by 600%, it's huge. So I can take all of these negatives to production, research, influence, and economical. And as long as I'm specializing my planets, we're going to replace all these negatives easily. They're not even we're not even going to notice them. It's not like they're not even there. So this gives us basically free 8 points. Each time you click down one of these, if you look at the top of the thing, a little tooltip, it says unproductive, -2. We get -2, we get an extra 2 trait points so we can apply to other things by just taking these that aren't going to affect us with the way we're going to be playing. Next thing we got is content. When you specialize your planets, I don't want to have to build morale buildings. And so having +2 to morale right off the bat means that I have to build less morale buildings or none at all. And that's what I really want. I don't want to have to build any morale buildings because I want to squeeze out as much production as I can out of my production buildings and my research buildings and so on. The fertile here I just chose because I had 1 extra point. It just basically increases how quickly your population grows. Not a big deal, but might as well take it because we had a point. Couldn't put in anything else really. I'm not bothered by the maintenance cost increase here. I took it to get an extra 2 points, but 20% maintenance is going to be offset by any economic planets we go for, or any economic stimulus that our production planets work on for any amount of time. So we're going to be fine on that. The next thing I took is dense. I'm not sure if dense is working properly yet. For some reason, it doesn't seem to be, but I could be wrong. But 25% increased capacity on your ships. And when it does work, this is going to basically mean that you can fit 25% more lasers, missiles, armor, and everything else on your ship, if I'm understanding this properly. Then I got militant here, which is plus 20% speed at which you produce ships. That means you're going to be able to churn out 20% more out of your shipyards, which, this productive up here is only plus 25% to your base raw resources. Now follow me here. This 20% military manufacturing, based on the way I understand the math, is 20% of all production going to this. So it's a multiplicative percentage. This is an additive percentage. This percentage down here, militant, is much stronger if you have specialized planets. Based on my understanding of how this works, it's not like plus 20% to any kind of raw amount. It's 20% times that 600% you're already generating from your specialized planet. So go for this one for sure. Popular, I didn't really need tourism income like on this one. I didn't really need trade route. I didn't really need population cap because they don't really benefit me in a way that's gonna the tourism and the trade route in value, we can just build another like economic planet and we'll be fine. And then the population cap, it's just like influence and other stuff like that for population. So I would rather just you know, have less population cap, that's going to make it easier to keep morale up, because the higher your population, the lower your morale. So easier to keep morale up, less morale buildings, and also if I want influence, I'll just build an influence planet. Next thing we have here is brutal and courageous. This is making it harder to invade planets and to defend against invasions. The way I think of this, just don't get invaded. How about that? You know, if you just don't get invaded on a planetary level, then these two things don't even matter. I mean, this one doesn't matter. The brutal matters, but if you're invading someone, just bring enough numbers to make sure you can take them down. You know, bring 25% more people, and it's fine. Not that big a negative, in my opinion. So I'd rather take that to get free points. I do want to have my ships be as absolutely strong as possible. So I took tough plus 20% hit points. 0.3 increased accuracy for accurate. We have plus 25% jamming for agile, makes the ships harder to hit. And this is plus 25% strategic repair, so it repairs faster. It's resilient. This makes my ships so much better than the opponent's ships. It's just silly. The next thing we have is adventuresome. Oh, by the way, the reason why I want to be so much better than other opponents' ships is that if I'm fighting you, or I'm fighting the enemy, and then they have to rebuild their ships because I blew them up, and then I just have to repair my ships because they got highly damaged, I win. So that's the way I look at space battles using these. Adventuresome is next. Modifies how far your ships can travel. Yeah, you just want to be able to travel further, especially those early colony ships, early scouts, things like that. Likeable. This is a +2 diplomacy bonus. It makes it harder for the other races to hate you. And so I like this because, you know, I like to be able to have people love me until I invade their homeworld. And that's basically what this kind of allows you to do. This and other things, of course. Observant, we get extra sensor range so we can see further. It helps those scouts to find those colonizable planets early on, especially, and also see, you know, other ships that are nearby. This fast gives you 2+ moves, so it allows those scouts, those colony ships, those constructors, everything to move out, really doing kind of like an early rush kind of strategy with this. And also logistics. This allows my fleets to be just bigger. So basically what I've got here is my ships can go faster, further, see more, can destroy yours easily, and I can have more of them in a fleet than you can, and they can all carry more stuff, and I can produce them 20% faster than everyone else. In return, I just specialize my planets, and I'm also producing more than you are. So, haha, that's basically what I can say to the other races. The racial abilities, these are the big things, kind of alters gameplay. I used to like engineers because it used to allow you to build a shipyard in anywhere you wanted to and never have to suffer decay from any planet whatsoever. They've changed it. It just decays at half the normal rate now, so it's not really my favorite anymore. My favorite now is Patriotic and Colonizers. Patriotic, it makes you immune to the large empire approval penalty. If I'm winning, I'm going to have a large empire. Therefore, I'm going to be suffering this penalty unless I take this. So since I plan on winning, I'm taking this. That way I don't have to deal with the morale buildings as much, or at all. Colonizers is next. It's the other one I chose. It's first improvement on all new planets. All new colonies is free. This doesn't work for every building, but it works to speed your new colonies along. And if I'm going to be colonizing a lot of planets early, I'm probably going to want to be able to get at least one improvement going so I don't have to wait so long for them to be productive planets. Appearance doesn't really matter. I did choose the gaudy yellow and the absolutely ostentatious, is that the right word? I don't know. The horribly bright and colorful bubblegum ship colors, because, you know, why not just add some insult to the injury as I beat up these other races, right? And then personality is mostly for how the AI plays your race. I haven't really tinkered with this since I, you know, created this. I had an old set of traits that I use this for, so I haven't updated it for the new traits to make it work better. Maybe in the future. But anyway, we're going to go back. That's the way this one's set up. You can see that I have a lot of race traits, and that means I'm very much min-maxed. Nobody else has a scroll bar, for instance. I have a scroll bar. That should tell you something. So we're going to go with next, and we're going to get going here. We got a galaxy type of huge with tight clusters. We're going to leave everything default except for I'm turning pirate bases off because it just gets really, really annoying when your colony ship is perfectly safe and then you move him one space, and then all of a sudden there's a pirate and it comes in and blows up your colony ship. I just find that very annoying. So I just turn the pirate bases off. I have from minor races to abundant. I like them better. They don't blow up your stuff randomly. So any advice I give you, just temper it with, you know, based on your settings and the pirate bases function here. Will alter how you need to play that. We're going to play with every race turned on, and this should be a pretty good size. If you this should give us enough room, but if you want, you know, make sure that you don't see any aliens for like the first 100, you know, maybe 50 to 100 turns. You probably want to go to immense, or maybe, you know, gigantic's a little bigger than huge, but immense will probably give you a little bit of time. If you go insane, you're going to be colonizing. This insane map type, you're going to be colonizing until your eyes bleed. So we may do that eventually, but not today. We're starting up this map, and I'll show you how to start specializing. Yep, that's right. 11 minutes into this video, you're finally going to actually see some gameplay. All right, so first things first, when you're first starting out, you can take a look at where all your planets are around nearby. You can zoom in. We have a colonizable planet there. I like the look of that. We're going to go ahead and send our colony ship over there. No, why even waste time? I like to split my scouts. Some go north, some go south. Since you always start with 2 scouts, and we have a north and a south region in this map, it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and have this one go southward, and have this one go kind of... He may actually uncover it on his way by. We'll have him go over here first, and then go south. And we'll have this scout go here, and then break north. For our first research, you definitely want to go in Xeno-industrialization, and you're going to get the Xeno factory and the Xeno research laboratory, and those are going to be your bread and butter buildings anyway, so you might as well get that first. All for that. Next, we want to do a little, let's show you what I mean by specializing our planets. So here's our first home world. We're going to build a basic factory, and we're going to build that in a way that gets the most adjacency bonuses. So basically, when you build them, if you're not familiar with that, if you build them close together, they are more effective. It's an adjacency bonus system. So if you look at this capital, it gives +1 to basically everything touching it, whereas this factory gives +1 to all factories touching it. So if you build a lot of factories together, they boost each other's productivity. So build it in a way where it's going to give you the most adjacency bonuses as early as possible. The next thing we're going to do is, you notice we have a +1 adjacency bonus on this one. If I build that, I go ahead and get +1. I don't have to build it on there first. I can build it there first. This gives nothing for me that I need right now. So this is going to be a pure... I like to build pure planets and even pure star systems usually. So this is going to be an all factory planet. I pick one building and I basically spam that building all over the planet, and that's the whole thing it does. So you notice we have the -25% unproductive in that tooltip. That's going to go away. That's not even a problem. So how do we specialize our planet? Well, if you go to the bottom left-hand corner, you have the Govern Planet button. This is going to be our production planet. It's going to do nothing but production. So I'm going to specialize it all the way to production. Now, please keep in mind, in the future when we build research planets, do not bring it immediately all the way over to research, because then your research buildings will never actually build. You need to have enough production to actually build them. So for production planets, I go here. For research planets, I go down to the bottom, 50-50, until I don't have any more buildings to build, and then it goes straight over to research. And then for the economics planet, I go 50-50, and then as soon as all the buildings are done, I go all the way up to economics. So this is production. It goes all the way over here. I also do a trick over here where I drag this all the way over to military. Now check this out. The military, 21 points are going to military. Wait a second. If I close this map, close this planet map, and go to the galaxy map, and then go to the shipyard, you'll notice it's building nothing. It is building absolutely nothing. It is getting production per turn. It is building nothing. Why? Why is it taking my production? Well, it's still active. So even though it's not building anything, it's still active. So if you want to keep it from stealing all your stuff, shut it down. Always shut down inactive shipyards, because they're just stealing production and it's going nowhere. So check this out. I can go back to the planet, go back to govern. Now, even though my slider is all the way over to 100% military, I'm getting 17 social, and it doesn't matter where in the slider I put that. I'm going to get 17 social points for this, even though it says 0% social. This is cool. Let me show you why. 17 social points for this planet means that if I need to build something, in my shipyard, I just turn on my shipyard and it starts building immediately. And then all this instantly goes, any planets attached to it will instantly go straight to building that as fast as it can. And then once I'm done building it, I don't want to build anything anymore. I just shut it down. And as soon as I shut it down, they go back to doing whatever is most efficient for them to do, which is social. Nope, this needs to be 100%. There we go. So yeah, that's what you want to do. That is the way to specialize your planets in a very, very efficient way. So right now, our basic factories are building in 2 turns. I don't really need to speed these along unless I really want to, because it's just 2 turns, not a big deal. I'd rather save my money for building not even colony ships. The colony ships are going to be coming along in 1 or 2 turns too, once I actually start building those. What I want to save my money for is fast building my research planets, which aren't going to have that production. They're not going to have any factories on them, so they're going to need help building their research facilities to get them going. So I'm saving my money. That's what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead. I think that's all I want to show you guys on turn 1. We are shut down here, right? Yes, we are. So now things should build. We're getting, you notice at the beginning I had 11 turns for 1 basic factory. Now I have 2 turns. In 2 turns I'm going to have a factory every 2 turns, and soon every 1 turn I'm going to have a factory built. That is phenomenal. And that's how you get ahead in this game. So turn. We already have these resources. I'm going to try to get a mining starbase out to get these Durantiums as soon as I can. It's, you know, I'm going to be churning out starbases and colony ships soon enough. Yes, colonize that planet. First colony, sure. With these, if you really want to min-max, you really want to be as effective as possible, ignore the points here and just go straight for whatever you want this planet to be. I want this planet to be manufacturing. I'm going to go 15% plus 15% manufacturing, and I'm going to be done with it. Because if you actually track the way the ideology points flow, it's better to be kind of balanced with your ideology points rather than focusing on one. Because putting points, we'll go over ideology later. Let's focus on what we got here now. This is going to be another factory planet, and this is going to be sponsoring our. This is also going to be sponsoring our shipyard. So we're going to build it up just like that. And you notice the first improvement is rush. We're going to immediately get 1 basic factory. So instead of me having to go in here and actually buy these things, I can just, you know, have the first one be rushed, and then that factory instantly starts building the other factories. It's very efficient. We're going to do the same thing here, straight over to production, and straight over. It's not actually sponsoring the shipyard yet, but as soon as it is, I'll get that slider over to the military side. All right, what next? Let's look around. We have more resources over here. This will be a starbase. We'll have another starbase here, so that's 2 starbases. And then we'll send this one south. We'll send this one north. Cool. All right. Ideology points. Our first ideology points. For the way I'm playing this game with specialized planets, after analyzing all these lines, from whenever I get a malevolent ideology trait, I'm going to go with intimidating this motivation. Excuse me, this motivation line, because this is going to get me more points, and then this one's going to get me more production for my homeworld. This one's going to get me more, doubles the military production of our homeworld. We know that our homeworld is going to be our chief shipbuilding planet, so we might as well double that efficiency. That is incredible. That is a huge boon, and that's what we want, because that's going to make us basically unstoppable. This gives us the generating malevolent ideology points per turn. This one generates 10. This one generates 1 per turn, apparently. I'm not sure. They changed that recently with most of the buildings. Now most of the buildings generate like 1 per 5 turns, but we'll see if that's a tooltip mistake or not. But if that's not a tooltip mistake, that's awesome. And then this one gives plus 25% total production to all colonies and unlocks the planetary project. So it's really good. So we're going to go grab that one. We're going to want to get up to 3 as fast as possible. So malevolent. You notice the first time we chose a ideology, it was 10 points. Now it's 20. So it's 20 for each one of these. Every single one of these now has 20 as the cost. But if we go over to pragmatic, it now says 15. So it only increases other ideologies by 5. It increases its own ideology by 10 whenever you take an ideology. So it's better to balance out your ideologies if possible, and that will allow you to get the most traits. So Malevolent, we're going Motivation, and that's going to get us Production bonus. Negotiator is going to get us No one declares war on you. It's going to get us a Diplomatic bonus, which is going to make it harder for people to declare war on us. We're going to have an Arbitration Center. I forget what the Arbitration Center does. And we're going to have Angers others when at war. So when other people declare war on you, everyone else hates them, which is pretty sweet. And then the last one, any race that invades our homeworld is instantly declare war on. This one's kind of weak because if your homeworld's getting invaded, you basically lost anyway. But, why not? The main reason I want this one is for the diplomacy bonus. But, I mean, if you look at these others, the way I'm going to be playing, these don't really help us all that much. Honestly. They're just not that useful. Benevolent is the last one. We're going to be going for Enlightenment because we're going to want to be able to push our research as high as possible on our research planets. This one gives all star bases give an extra 10% bonus to colonies in their area of effect. So I'm going to throw a star base around every single system that has a research planet, and it's just going to work. Then the rest of these give like free research points and plus research points for everything. And it's just nice. So all colonies gaining 5 research per turn is incredible, and this generates benevolent ideology points. This is kind of overpowered in my opinion. All right, so that is, we saw one turn, but hopefully you learned a lot. I'm going to continue teaching and showing you more things in the next episode. I hope this is helping. Feel free if you have any questions or you have anything that you're confused about, want to know about, want to learn. Don't hesitate. Comment below. I will answer and be glad to give you whatever answers you're interested in, and answer whatever questions you're interested in having answered. So anyway, feel free to subscribe on this on the screen right now. There's a subscribe button. Feel free to click that if you're interested in seeing more videos like this. And I'm going to continue this tutorial series. And then in release, obviously, we're going to have a full-blown, more entertainment series for you guys who prefer that style of gameplay. So thank you for watching, and remember, keep it clean.